Howdy folks, thanks for coming to another one of my videos. Today I'm going to discuss tripod mount head capacities. Now when they talk about the capacities, they're talking about how much equipment can be on top of the tripod mount head. And that's all the equipment that you've got that you'll place on top of here that you don't want to get past the limit of the head, or it won't track the night sky properly when it's in tracking mode. Too much weight can actually slow down or speed up the tracking depending on if it's going up from east to the zenith and then zenith down to the west. Now from the east to the zenith, it can actually slow the tracking timing down a little bit because it's trying to get all that weight in the same motion. And if it's from the zenith to the west, then it can actually drag the tripod head faster, and you can lose the object that you're trying to track in the night sky. So you got to make sure that you keep your equipment on the top equal to or less than what the limit is for the tripod head. One thing I want to point out is that the counterweights are there to balance the telescope from left to right. In other words, all the weight of the telescope plus the counterbalance makes it stay put in the position that you put it in. So it's not slowly slipping down one way towards the telescope or one way towards the weights, the counterweights. When they talk about the tripod head capacity, that normally does not involve the counterbalance weights. Counterbalance weights are not in the equation to how many pounds the head works. Now there are a few mounts out there that I have found, that I've read up on, that actually take the weight of the counterbalance and add it to the amount the tripod can handle. I don't remember what brands those were, but they do add that to the capacity of the tripod. To where like on this AVX mount, the counterweights don't have anything to do with how much weight is considered part of the capacity of the telescope. Now for the SLT, it's 8 pounds. For the AVX, it is 30 pounds. And we'll discuss all the information that we'll put into it on the equipment that I've got for this mount, and I'll show you how it levels out to what the capacity of the tripod head is. First off, you'll have your OTA, or your optical tube assembly. That could be any telescope that you've got to have. In this case, this old Celestron 130, which is the 5-inch scope, is basically 8 pounds. So, and in order to attach my OTA to the mount so I can have room to adjust it for balancing it out a little better, then I'll be using a dovetail bar with the OTA rings that'll actually hold the OTA in place, and that's 3.2 pounds. I'll be using a red dot finder so I can find things in the night sky, and you're talking 3 ounces, but it all adds up. And it's a 60 millimeter guide scope, and it weighs about 2 pounds. In the guide scope, you need a guide camera. Well, this is a 120 millimeter ASI mini that I've got, and you're looking at 3 ounces for that. Of course, the DSLR that I'm using to videotape this with the body only, with the T-ring adapter on it, it's about 20 ounces total on it. And I mean, if you can use it with just the T-ring on it, then you can get away with it. If you have to use a 1 1/4 adapter in the T-ring to put it on your telescope, either way, it's still about 20 ounces. Of course, I'm using a 2-inch Barlow, which is about 20 ounces. Of course, if you don't use a 2-inch, of course, but in my case, I'm going to be using a 2-inch because I got this 2-inch one, and it's 20 ounces. And of course the various cables you'll be using, I mean, I'll say another pound total, and that'd be on the high side. Cables aren't that much weight, but everything adds up. So that's a total of about 14 pounds, almost 15 pounds total. And you've got 30-pound capacity on this head, so I'm basically half of what I should be to max out the head. So as far as tracking, it should be good. But you have to take into consideration all the heavy, really the heavy pieces that you put on, like that red dot finder. I mean, 2 or 3 ounces isn't going to break the bank as far as pound-wise on anything, but all the little pieces do add up. So with everything that you've got weight-wise is what's going to determine how much you can add to your telescope to get a good tracking, to keep the tracking rate what it should be, because you don't want to max out your whatever the poundage is on your telescope. And I'm about half of what the capacity of this mount is for my equipment, and but that's how you determine what mount you can use for good astrophotography, deep space imaging, and how you rate what you need as far as a mount. So anyway, hope this fills in some of the blanks. So, thank you.